Hey, Kuro's in here. Hey, Kuro, you made it. I was just verifying if I was live. That all sounds good, right? Audio good? Check, check, check. There we go. Oh, cute. It's hard to see on here. But you definitely did a thing. It's so small on my screen. I wonder if I can full screen this. Well, first, let's do one thing at a time, right? I'm gonna get ahead of myself here. I can see a little bit better. I can hear the alerts, yes. And all my chat now appears on the stream, at least an OBS side. So it should show on the streams. Yeah, we're good. So there's my chat. There's my monitor. There's my OBS. And then the next thing I do is get my things so I'll be like, scene 1, scene 2. Sort of webcams have an overhead down shot and stuff.
Okay, before people are all up in here, what happened at the Uptown meeting? You were going to tell us and then never did.
Oh, so Uptown meeting, basically the rezoning. It looks like our industrial zoning for the building is okay for event space with the new zoning moves. I don't have to do any conditional use permits or anything.
So someone else.
Eric the Viking says hello, Raccoon.
What?
Eric the Viking.
Oh,
Eric,
hello.
yeah.
About someone else said that they heard that zoning talks about them trying to connect uptown and downtown with barn event areas.
That didn't really come up so much.
Okay, that's what I heard is that they were trying to bridge the gap.
Yeah, that didn't really. Yeah, it was really.
So that whole area needs to be.
Yeah, the feedback about what we want and do we want, and our thing is like our main thing is limiting. We do not want more bars. However, more liquor licenses because restaurants and stuff can be serving alcohol. That would be permissible. But we just don't want more straight up just bars.
Yeah, we need like things to bring people down here at night, like dinner at least.
Yep. And so it is mostly just like zoning talk and like what's going to be where.
What made us think of that is the ice walk is downtown. Everybody gets an ice sculpture. I'm like, I wish we could be a part of it. And somebody has a fox sculpture.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, that's all that. That's what brought that up.
Eric the Viking. Whoops. Yeah, Eric had disc bar. Close enough. I got it. Need a ring? That's cute. Oh wow, that needs some love. This thing is rustier. I'm gonna get tetanus trying to get this thing off of here. Hey, better to be found than not found. Yeah, I'll give you a much more durable giant aluminum ring. And that one won't rust. It'll tarnish, but it won't rust. Do you want silver still? Or do you want gold? You know some other color? Yeah, I could match that. If I want the specific of that one, I have like a champagne color that we can do with that. Better than calling you moonshine. That's all good. Hey, how's it going, Marcia?
good. There's a couple things I want to ask you about.
Yeah?
Is there more hand soap than what was those 2 bottles that were right there?
The big soft soaps?
Yeah.
No, I need to get some from...
So other than
Yeah.
brown paper towel rolls.
Refills are on order.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
those are the only
As long as you get enough to keep you for now.
Toilet paper. There's only 1 roll left in that box that's in that room, so I didn't know if there was more somewhere.
There's more down by the cold storage bathrooms, I think. Yeah. Champagne? Yeah. Champagne. Let's see. I don't mind all the extracurricular types of work. I think it's kind of fun. It helps break up the day a little bit. In fact, yeah, I had some critters in here today that were doing some shopping here at the Pawstar, and they wanted to get some of our new ear piercings. So we're really happy to finally bring those back for people to have. Like, we did that for such a long time in our booths. We were very well known for like all the customization, and even Vixus would be doing sewing in the booth proper. It was a time for sure. So happy to be able to come back to that in a way and revisit some of these old things that we were offering. Okay, so one ring, one charm, clippy clip, and all refreshed, new and schmancy. There you go. You're welcome. Your current username means blasphemous wolf in Swedish. Nice. That's very cool. You speak a little bit, don't you? Ah, she gone. Yeah. No, Finnish. Ah, close. Close, but not quite it. I know that there's words that are similar. No, is that? Or is it Norwegian and Swedish? Norwegian and Danish.
Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish are all related.
In the same family. Finnish is its own critter. As it is, it is. Yep. I had to look up how to get both chats to show up. Oh yeah, so I think I have some of my chats showing up in one another. We're getting fancier with our overlays, so I'm here for it. All right. So clean up my mess here, and then we're gonna go into some light production and hang out for a bit. How's everybody doing today? Staying warm, I hope. We have all of our new Pawstar TV things that we're doing here. So we're really excited, and we're also reissuing some of our lunar collection. So it's this stuff with these pastel, lavender, black accents. Very fun. All the Germanic languages are kind of similar. Yeah, they are. I mean, you all have their roots, right? Okay, so let's do some piercings. Got my very chill vibe going on right now. I'm in my chill girl vibe era. How is the connection for everybody? Is no lag, no weirdness, hopefully? Yeah, we did upgrade our internet connection here fairly recently, so I'm excited to see how it goes. Solid? Bet. The only German you know is Rammstein lyrics, but studying Swedish, you've noticed some similar words. Yeah, I know there's definitely going to be words, especially words that may not exist in the native language that are used as loan words. So that's definitely a thing. So I'm going to try these all the upper portions. We now have piercing templates to try to keep things consistent for when people are doing piercings. So I made these cool little templates for these so people can use these and yeah, see what that looks like. All right, so on these, I was playing around with the concept of adding on some black rings to accent on the lavender. I think that's gonna look really pretty. All right. It's been a fairly productive week here at Pawstar. We have new walls that we're putting up for the Pawstar. We're reconfiguring things. We have Anime Milwaukee coming up this weekend. I'm excited for that. Not this weekend, but this next weekend. This weekend is actually a fairly rare weekend off for us, so we're gonna definitely enjoy that. Hey, Pixie Foofy's back. I'm great. How are you doing? I'm doing my favorite thing in the world, which is to hang out and vibe and do leather stuff and get a chit chat with everybody else watching me do it. So these are the rings that we're putting on the upper left ear for y'all. I don't know if it's actually, it might be correct for you because you can see words correctly. It's not mirror imaged, which does kind of mess me up sometimes because I'm used to other media being kind of in the mirror image. So we'll get there. We'll figure it out. What you been up to, Pixie Foofy? Good, nice. Heck yeah. Okay, and so now this one is more or less complete on the piercing side. However, these are gonna get a dangle. I actually really like that a lot. So uppers on the piercings. I like that. Super great. I'm gonna sneak around and see. I'll actually give you a little sneak peek of our piercings. You can hop over and do that. Switch to battery mode. And let's nip around to the side and see what we can see. We also have work that we've been doing on Pawstar Studios as well, getting the lighting up, and it's looking really good. Lighting and soundproofing will take a moment. There's quite a bit to be done there yet. Just chilling. Just chilling. Okay, so here we were working on some of the piercings, and let me free this from its cradle. Okay, cool. So these are a sneak peek of some of the new earrings that we're doing. So both large size earrings for people, small size, and then little ones that we're using, they're gonna be like, these are glow in the dark for people. So exciting. I actually came in here to get some samples of my lunar pieces here. Okay, I just needed one just to show. This one, this will do. There's a little dichroic coating on these, so it has like a little rainbowy effect. Really pretty. A little more on the subtle side, but very pretty. Yeah, heck yeah. No, and now is the time for catching up on your movie series. Look at that. Oh, I like it. Very cool. So these are going to be the new lunar headband ears. I will actually probably wear these on stream now to use them as a teaser for everybody. Just for now. Until we get them photographed for release. Coming up soon. We have a lot of releases actually scheduled for Anime Milwaukee. So once we have those ready, we'll be putting them up on the website for y'all to see. And if you happen to catch us either here local at the Pawstar or... I like that. I think originally I had these reversed because I remember on my minx ears, that's on the left ear. So I might just do that the other way. Left gets piercing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yay, thanks, Eric. In the future, y'all should build Pawstar in North Carolina. Hey, once we can get some leeway to actually have enough foot traffic in shops, and if there's interest to have actual walk-in stores, I'm here for it. I feel like you definitely would need to run it in like Raleigh or somewhere else like has a decent population base, because it is a specialty store for sure. So that being said, I think we'll move forward with this and see how it treats us this year. This will be the first full year of having the Pawstar. So just keep growing it. And we have the event space here too that we're also working on, the counter space. And we have a lounge area right now, but there's plenty more to come. Choom. Okay. And we're back. Yeah, I kind of like this. I'm here for it. All right, so this is a box. Oh, let me actually show you. These are some of the other teasers I can share. So this way. So this is the lunar collar. It's got a little captive bell. And once again, it's like the see-through dichroic acrylic there. Really fun. And we were doing some of these same things as necklaces too. They sound really cute. I like them. Okay, and I'll put these together. This is going to be a project for a little bit later. Let's see what we got. Today I was working on some deluxe fleece-lined wrist cuffs, so I have to do some sewing. And I have a custom color swap pride ring collar. So let's do that one first. That looks pretty fun. Purple leather and rings. So if those of you who don't know how our pride ring collars are, you need a jingly moon? Nice. Those of you who don't know how our pride collars work, we have basically all pride flags that we have kind of realized in rings, like those rings I was just using to pierce the ears with. And if you have flags that you want that we aren't currently offering, we'll make them for you. So just let us know, what flag you're looking to replicate, and we'll obviously do our best. We only have so many colors, but we can really explore the space with that. There's a lot you can do with that. So let's start with that. I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way so you can bring you all a little closer to the action. There we go. Okay. I'm still getting used to my chat here and what that looks like. I don't know how to scroll in here. I'm confused with that. That's okay. As long as I'm not too inundated with comments, I think I should be okay. So I'll need some purple leather for this collar. I don't think I actually have any that are in the size I need. So we'll need to go make some. Not a problem. Let's go do that. So this is where I take the leather from hides and take little straps that I'll cut off from the end, and these become the basis for a lot of the collars that we make. Although some of the newer collar styles we're doing have like shapes rather than just like a strap of leather. So it can be complicated. But we're really trying to do a whole bunch more new designs so we have new things for everybody. Because that's exciting, right? Can't just do the same thing forever. Okay. I'm gonna clean up my work area here. Do I have enough here for a collar's worth? That is probably. I can get a collar out of that. Yeah, the purple that we were sourcing before was more of like a plum purple, and it was fine. It would be good for like a Ren Fair build. But at the same time, it was a little too dark for our liking. So we talked to our tannery here in Milwaukee, our local tannery, and we had them make our proper Pawstar purple. And while we were at it, we were, looking toward the future and decided, well, maybe we should also offer some lavender. Can y'all make us some lavender hides at the same time? And they did an amazing job at it. Like, they did exactly what we were looking for. So at that time, we started updating our purple and then also offering some lavender. All right, that should be sufficient. I think I've got enough there. Batwing shaped collar, nice, yeah. I would do that both accessories. I've seen people do that thing with spats, which are basically like shoe covers. And then we do have a bat necklace that actually was unreleased and never really made it in time for last year's spooky season. So there's a lot that we can express there too, I think. Let me run that through the edge, die cut edge, and bring y'all back over here. See if I actually had enough in this to make a collar out of. All right. And it looks like I do. Just want to make sure that the grain of this leather will not be too stretchy. Nope, I think I did really good with this one. All right. And then this portion, maybe we can make into something else. Let's see. Yeah, wow, I got really lucky with that one. So on leather hides, when you are working with them, the back portion of the hides have fibers, like the hide, have fibers that are more like this. And as you get more towards the belly, the fibers start to become more, I guess, at right angles to each other. And so it means they're going to be more likely to stretch, not have the kind of same strength, structural strength that you really need. So the best collars do come out of the back, typically. Sometimes you get lucky with it, though. There might not be as much stretch either. All right, so let's put some tooling on this leather and make it a pretty collar. I'm really excited to be able to give you all some more views too, so you can see like a top-down view of me working with the tools. That will be really exciting. It's something I've wanted to offer for a long time, and like, I have a good view of what's going on, obviously, but from the side, you only really can see somewhat what's going on. So it would be really fun to be able to share that with everybody. And that's on, it's coming, it's coming. We just need to get there. All right. And this does not indicate any type of hardware, so we're going to go ahead and make this with Chrome. That's the default setting. And I'll just need one buckle for that. And I will need to get, I guess I have the O&D rings here, so I have all the hardware I need already. All right. Oop. Ooh, I didn't put the holes in these proper. Let's see if I can get away with this. Sometimes having the collar under is just enough drag where it doesn't punch right, but I might get lucky with it. It depends. It has to have to do with like drag and counter drag with this. Like I said, I got pretty lucky. And ring 1 and ring 2. So with my rotary punch, I'm able to put all the holes in at the same time, and they're fairly even too, so. I will need a strap keeper, or a D-ring keeper actually. And I have those pre-cut over here. I just need one for this. And then we're gonna make some custom rings, and this pretty collar will be on its way to its new owner. Yeah, I think I even have over on a photography shelf the bat necklace that I had done. It's like a bat, well, it has to come more of a collar than a necklace, really. But pretty in any regard. All right, and now we have a ring on there, so we'll go ahead and step this down. Yeah, I used to set all the rivets by hand too, but I found that the foot press was much, much more efficient. So we've been doing that for a while. Many years, actually. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. So the client had requested yellow, silver, purple. So let's do that. Yellow, silver, purple. And black, hot pink, yellow, blue. Black. Hot pink. Oh, I see what's going on here. Hot pink. Yellow. Blue. So it's basically non-binary pan, it looks like to me. That's the way I'm reading this. Non-binary to pan, which it's hard to show you. Yeah, no, if aside from doing everything by hand, obviously it's going to put more wear and tear and strain on your hands. It also is a little bit, it has more like room for error, and yeah, you just can't turn out as many in the same amount of time, unfortunately. We all do our best, of course. All right. Yeah, this is going to be really cute. I like how all of the customization options allow someone to make something that's going to be truly unique. Even as I was commenting, we had some critters come into the Pawstar today, and it's got some like basic black kitty ears, and then we had some piercings on them, and those piercings are not like any other piercings I've ever done. And then you can also pick out your dangles, like little charms for the ears too. So that's really cool. I'm glad that we can offer that again. Yep, non-binary pan. So you got yellow, silver, purple, black, and then on into hot pink, yellow, blue. So I'm thinking non-binary pan flag colors. One of the cool things we offer about the custom color swaps and custom commissions when they're open. At the moment they're temporarily closed as we're working through our submissions, and then we'll reopen the form and try to run at least one more batch before this season is over. Yeah, there aren't as many of us working now as there was in 2019. So we're not able to do as much custom as we used to, unfortunately, but we're still doing it, and we're still excited to be able to offer what we can. And you know what? We're on the road back to where we were. Like, it is a long path for small business to continue to operate in the world today. But through perseverance, we're going to get there. I believe in us. I believe in y'all. Thank y'all for showing up and watching me and supporting me today. All right, one more and then we got big reveal. You also, so we do this. This is actually going to be the front red this way. There you go. That's great, right? Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I just got to put a brand stamp on here, show our maker's mark, and then we're ready to go on to the next. Box this up and send it through. All right. RDY ready. All right. Next, we're gonna go back through and work on. Oh, actually have minefield collars. That could be fun. Chrome minefields on top of that. So let's go ahead and do those. Those are part of our Darkstar Fusion offering. So that is basically some cyber gothic industrial clothing and accessories for Darkstar Fusion. So, all right, that is ready to go. And now we just need to make some blanks and start making collars. There we go. Give you all at least a good view, even if it is just a side view. Better than nothing. Yeah, working with leather and other, I guess, durable goods is in its own way very satisfying. Knowing that you can turn something from just a hide of leather or a bolt of cloth into a really beautiful work of art. It's inspiring, and it's inspiring for me to also connect with other creators too. I think at some point we'll probably end up having interviews with other makers and have them into Pawstar Studio so we can talk about the process of being creative. All right, I think I need to get out some more leather here, because I don't think I have quite enough on there to do what I need to do. So let's straight edge some leather, shall we? Cool. These are now extra little pieces. I'll end up putting these to the spaghetti fire at some point. Yeah, a lot of hand tooling, especially like ring work. You'll feel that after a while. Like definitely repetitive motion to make sure you do your hand stretches and stay limber. All right, so these are how the hides come to us. They're all rolled up, usually in groups of 5. So we have to unroll them like scrolls. Scrolls of Cowie wisdom. And then we're gonna put this back on the paper, which the paper is just there more or less to keep it from getting dusty and to protect the surface of the leather, but it's quite durable on its own. Hey, Kuro sends lots of emotes. Thanks, Kuro. Great. I'm fairly excited to get back into doing some design work and all new development for our Feral Merchant, which is going to be our Ren Fair brand. We've already booked our Iowa Ren Fair this year. That's just a one weekend, like it's a little one. and they were kind enough to request that I do a drumming performance and do our booth fees in exchange for drumming. So that was very nice of them. I'm really actually excited to do that and develop a little bit of a solo act for that. Because the type of drumming that I do is Japanese ensemble drumming, which of course is with a group or ensemble. So I have to adapt it a little bit to become more of a solo show, but I'm fairly excited. So this is going to be my straight edge to make a nice line on the hide. There we go. Park y'all right here. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that all goes for us this year. There's a lot of new stuff and a lot of exciting developments that we're just really kind of gearing up for this year. Lots to do, of course. Bring y'all with me over here. These, and I need a utility knife and clamps. There we go. All right. All right. When making this groove, I try to be fairly accurate about it. This first cut determines roughly what the rest of the hide will look like as we're going to continue to take pieces off the end. So taking time to make sure you have a nice clean cut here will be very beneficial. Yeah, it might be time for me to change my blade here soon. It's striking through, but not quite to the degree that I want it to, so we'll get there. Well, there we go. And continue over here. Yeah, it walked on me a little bit through that, but that's okay. We're not going to be missing too much out of that. There we go. So now that we have a straight edge, we can continue to work on that and take pieces down for our projects. At this point, I don't need my straight edge anymore. I don't need my utility knife. All I will need to do is use my strap cutter at this point. This piece is fairly wide, and I will be able to reclaim some of this for collars. So let me see. This is set for 3/4 inch, although I think I have one that's already set at 1.5 inches. So let's go and grab that one. I think I've got that on the table over here. Do I have this over here, or did I put it back? Might have put it back. That's okay. I have many things that I have to keep track of in one day. Oh, I did put it back like a good fox. Here we go. This one, I've had this strap keeper since almost the beginning of Pawstar. So this is like 20 years old piece of wood here. And it served me well, I will say. All right. So now we're going to dial this into 1.5 inches. So that's where we're making kind of like our wider form factor of collar. And the idea is make a blank collar, add on any basic hardware that's going to be required to make it a collar, and then embellish with hardware to make it the specific design that we're looking at. This is where I had the blade walk on me a little bit, so I just needed to realign and continue on. There we go. 1 strap of 3/4 inch leather. Latigo Chrome Tan. Just like we do down home. Boop. Great. I kind of feel in a way like we're starting over a little bit with our streaming. We had done a little bit of Twitch before, and this is still a little bit newer for us now. We're used to doing TikTok, but we're getting there. There's still a lot to be expressed and a lot to be done. Okay. Bring us back over here so we can see all the things. There we go. Great. Boop. So I had 2 of the 4 that I had already cut out, so I only need to make 2 more to complete this. All right, that's all good. That piece is extra. And now we're going to continue on to adding on. I was opening up a glue can before. It was kind of sticky, so I had to use my vise. We will still be on TikTok, I believe, but the problem is integrating it because both YouTube and Twitch were able to get our stream keys easily enough, but TikTok seems to be a little bit more of a pain to get your stream key out of. And not saying it's impossible, but that's going to be our current hang up. But yeah. We'll still be on there. We have such a following. It's hard not to, even though I've not been getting a lot of visibility lately, because they now feel like I'm trying to sell things, even though I'm really just, you know, we advertise ourselves as a company that makes things, and there's a little content disclosure checkbox that I do when I go to make my streams saying that I'm promoting my products, and then I check the box, and then they still get flagged, and it's only for the duration of my stream, so it is what it is, really. I'm not super fussed over it. We'll figure it out one way or another. We'll still be here doing what we do. All right. Now for us, there we go. So I use dyes quite a bit to make collars since I have so many to do, and I do the same process over and over. Being able to at least have some of the work done for me is very nice. I'm here for it. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have a separate Darkstar Fusion area as well as Pawstar at Anime Milwaukee. So I'm really excited to see what's selling, what are people wearing this year, and then showcase some of our new stuff we have going on. I'm always excited for local cons because I get to sleep in my own bed at night, so it's always a bonus for me. Granted, since we have to drive up there, I do have to get up a little extra early. And if I want to go to the rave or if I want to hang out late, I got to remember that I got that drive home and then to rinse and repeat in the morning. So there's some drawback to it, but I honestly always see it as a win to have something a little bit local. Boop. All right. So we have our blanks. Now all we need to do is tidy these up and get some hardware on them. And these are the chrome versions, so they'll be using chrome spikes, chrome buckles, the whole lot. Yeah, right now it's a little bit more of the inter-season. Like things are still fairly quiet as far as events go. Once we get into May and beyond, it's going to be really, really busy for us. So I feel like it's a very calm before the storm type of moment for us. All right. All right, we have our collars. We're gonna need 4 strap keepers. I have 3. Do I have any volunteer pieces of 1/2-inch strap laying around that I can use? Don't think that I do. So we're gonna grab our box of strap and make some more. All right. I had to go so far for these, to a whole nother realm. Yeah, the aspect of being able to, speaking of going to other realms, being able to do a little bit of fantasy role-playing and getting into character for Ren Fair is fairly exciting. We have a lot to express there for that brand, for Feral, yet. There's a lot we have done so far. I'm actually really proud of how far we've come, but there's a lot yet to be done with it. And I have the lofty goals of getting into our local Ren Fair here, which is Bristol Renaissance Fair. That's probably one of the biggest Midwest Ren Fairs. So if all goes well with that, I mean, it's getting them to recognize that we have enough presence and enough experience to be able to do an honorable display at the show, and then also that we can do it. We can pull our weight. So, and that's gonna take a minute. Like everything else, everything big starts small, right? Okay. Yeah, this whole horizontal business and like rotating around, I'm kind of down for that. That's great. It makes my life a little bit easier than it was when I was doing vertical and TikTok. Also, speaking of that, I got to figure out what does that look like for having a horizontal aspect ratio for Twitch and YouTube, and then vertical for TikTok. So, new things to figure out. So here's an example too, where the surface of this will look really solid. However, when you go to pull on these, hard to see without actually focusing on this, but it cracks a little bit, and that's not really gonna be acceptable. It's gonna over time fatigue a lot quicker. So this, well, it looks okay on the surface. These are like the small details that really set apart collars from being something that's really pretty and something that's gonna be pretty and durable and last for a really long time. Whereas you see some of the things on some of the different social media channels where the products look stellar, they've got all the marketing, and you're like, this is great, I'm all here for it, but then you get the product and it just sure looked good on socials, but it, maybe failed to deliver a little bit on the quality side.
I regret to inform you that these will not fit through these big clasps.
Oh.
Wrong size. I tried with a few of each.
We'll have to use the small jewelry rings for those probably.
Yeah.
Like a 16 gauge. Yeah. I have some that are currently on my desk.
Yeah.
You want to add I have the container that goes into logistics.
Okay.
Then those have they're like 16 gauge, I think.
Yeah.
It'll say on there, but yeah.
Okay. Is there black or just silver?
Just silver. When I will order some black. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we've been developing new products, and so there's a little bit of R&D involved, and sometimes figuring out ratios of hardware can be a challenge. So that's something that we're kind of working through as we re-release our earrings. All right. So these are good. Yes. Back over to the skive so we can clear down our collars. There we go. Yeah, on my to-dos would be also to upgrade some of the background here. Like the walls are so blank white and they're just begging for some kind of deco. So whether we end up putting like more art or LEDs or something, you know, some way to upgrade the experience here. So you'll have a little more going on than just a fox yip-yapping around forever making stuff. Although I will happily sit here and just yip-yap around and make stuff. I mean, I have no problem with that. But, you know, it's to make it a little more fun and exciting for everybody. It's almost time for me to change the blade out. It's still able to skive, but you can tell when you have to start pulling at it a little bit. Some parts of the blade, of course, depending on where I've been working with it, some places will inevitably dull a little bit quicker than others. Oh, hey, Ash. No notification. Okay, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully the notification comes up to you when I'm live. But thank you. Glad you got here, Ash. In any regard, as long as we're here now, right? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm surprised to see if Izzy can make their way over here. Okay. So, now just cleaning up the front edge of these where the buckles will go. Adding in the buckles. And then we get to mark out hardware and punch many, many holes for a long time. In the minefield collars, there's quite a bit. This is Uber minefield, so it has the ring in the middle. If I remember correctly, 5823. I keep typing on, I have two keyboards here right now, and I keep typing in the one that's normally in the tray here, and it's not doing what I want it to. It's okay. Okay, yes. All good. I need buckles, and, well, spikes will come in time, but buckles in this mean. Hey, Izzy's here. Hey, Izzy. You made it. How's it going, critter? All right. Here's the buckles. Ash spent all your money. Oh, you're moving. You're gonna get your own room now, right? I think you had mentioned. So that's exciting. Hopefully everything goes well with that. I know moving can be very stressful. You got to get everything packed up and boxed up and then unboxing. But then the exciting part is getting to set up a whole new area. So get a whole new space for yourself. I'm excited for you. There we go. Getting myself all lined up here. Great. So I got my buckles. Yeah, I find the process of making things very calming. I had heard from somebody recently a very short phrase, but it's so true. Then they said that action absorbs anxiety, and that really explains a lot. Like, that made me kind of like, whoa there for a minute. You spent it all on candy stuff and spent your money in MTG and D&D stuff. Yep, so it goes. Yeah, Magic is one of those things where as much as you want to throw at it, and also like D&D, that can be a fairly expensive hobby, especially if you get into like miniatures and painting. Like, That is a never-ending cycle. But be glad you're not into Warhammer, because that is very, very intense on the painting and figures side. So like that's a very labor intensive, but also very cool. Like I've seen some real cool paint jobs of people with their Space Marines and whatnot. Very fun. Ayo.
Silver or both silver?
Ooh, maybe black and silver?
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah. It visually looks nice, yeah.
Okay.
Agree. And you're trying to save money for Indie Comic Con. All right. Sounds like it's time to do some more chores or come up with some side hustle. Maybe you can be a broker for Magic cards. That's such a hard thing to do. But there are people who do that. They like open up cards and open up packs on stream, and then they basically sell them off. But like that's part of the hype part of it. And I don't know. I think you have to get fairly lucky at it. But if you part and piece stuff out as individuals, you probably could make money at it. But that is such a time investment to do that. But viable. Like I've known people who do that. But if that's one of the many things you do, there's lots of little ways to get by and make money, just even serving your own interests. So, yeah, Indie Comic Con coming up. I don't know if we're going to be registered doing that one this year. I have to see. We had discussed it, but I know that for sure we're doing Gen Con out in Indy. So it really depends on whatever we're able to get to. Indy FurCon IFC would be another one we would be trying to get into, but we've not had a lot of luck with either that one or Motor City FurCon, MCFC. So those are other shows that we're looking into actively. You bought 3 boosters and some singles. Nice. Well, to help you out on your journey to MTG success, I have actually going through a lot of my cards. I have a lot of stuff that I have quintuples or more of, and I only ever really save up to 4 of each any given card name, unless it's something I really like or have other util value for. So I have, as a stand, like a few stacks of cards that I'm gifting to Kuro. I should probably throw some of those in with the candy donation. You're gonna walk away with a bucket. I know, Ash. I know. You'll get there, Critter. So if not this year, maybe next year. But it does give you something to look forward to, so, just hang in there. That's all you can do. And hang in there and steer in the direction you want to go. That's all we ever really get. And hey, if end up going back to Gen Con, then maybe I can stop in on my way in and go get some pretzel bites from Arnie's, right? They were good. Like you weren't kidding. They were really tasty. Ooh, there you go. So at least you have one full deck you can play. That's good. Are you doing? Is it Commander or are you playing like standard? Like a 60 card format. Yeah, we were playing, Kuro and I were playing last night, and I pulled out one of so Kuro had like a new angel deck that she wanted to try out. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll play a black deck to counter your white angel deck. And the cards and the nastiness in the deck, I had forgotten what I actually put in there, and it was kind of mean. And so after that first game, we switched it up and started playing. I played a different one. I played a bunny deck, one of the more contemporary ones. So it's all good. But I did feel bad after I realized what I had wrought upon her. I was like, okay, we'll be a little less mean. It was rather gross. It was a fairly mean deck. Lots of mana ramping. So by the time I was done, it was like every swamp I had, I think I was tapping and getting 4 mana out of each one. And it was just, yeah, it was just bananas. I was not mean. Hey, I admitted. And then we played other games. And after we played other games with other decks, you won. Your Angel deck beat me 2 out of 3. You got 2 non-English singles. Nice. Yeah, I actually bought some Japanese singles too for like Harmonize. Like the artwork and stuff was really cool on some of these special cards. But as long as you can really think of to go into that, like it runs deep, and it seems like, and actually it seems like there's data to back this up, that they're really releasing sets a lot more quickly now, much to the displeasure of a lot of the community actually, that people are feeling like I think it's Mattel or Hasbro, I think it might be Mattel, is really pushing too many cards into the market at once and basically harming the future value of cards and devaluing them by issuing too many at once and just doing like cash grab-y style of behavior. So no commander yet for Ash, but you know what commander is. And you're learning. You're definitely in that learning phase. And there's a lot. Like, Magic is no joke. There's a lot going on there. Especially, like for me, I've been in and out since Revised. Like right at the end of Unlimited and right in the beginning of Revised. But it's, I was in and out several times over that period of time. From then until now, I think I've hopped in and out of Magic 3 or 4 times. And each time I come back in, there's more and more, different rule sets going on, and I'm surprised for how long they've actually been able to keep it up. But at the same time, also wondering, like, how much more can they really express in the game? Obviously things come in, things go out. You got the standard rule set of what's available now, but at the same time, I feel like the only way they're really going to be able to progress further is for them to continue to do more collabs with other brands. Like, one of the things that got me back in, okay, so I was at Gen Con 2024, and I was walking around, and I saw a playmat, like those, the squishy style, foam playmats that they had, and it had a Fox version of Jace, who's like one of the Planeswalkers. And I'm like, what in the furry world is this MTG? Because it had the Magic logo on it too, so I knew what it was. And like, what, do they do like a furry set for Magic? And indeed they did. That's when they released the Bloomborough set. I was like, all right, fine, take my money. And so I wanted to make sure I got, obviously, the Jace Fox cards. So I bought that one as a single, and I had bought a booster box of boosters of Bloomborough and proceeded to sit on them for well over a year because I wanted to open them up on the stream. Never got there on it, unfortunately. But then, come time to come to Gen Con next year, and of course, what do? They release Final Fantasy, and so like, all right, well, here it goes. And so then I was solidly back into Final Fantasy, or back into Magic at that point. Assassin's Creed, I've seen there's a lot of crossovers for those. Nesting Partner's currently obsessed with Magic. Yeah, it's like, it can be an obsession, especially when you first start getting into it and like seeing all the possibilities. I have spent many a night both playing games, thinking about building decks, and just sorting and organizing the cards. It's like, it's its own beast, for sure. But fun. As far as, it's an expensive hobby, for sure, but does not need to be expensive necessarily. Like, you can still get by, even with pauper decks. I had one of my friends would always play pauper style decks and would wipe the floor with me with those things. I would be very impressed. And the only way I would be able to win the games often is just grinding them into the dust with expensive cards. Because although I feel like I can build a pretty solid deck, there's all sorts of synergies you can get into that are going to make very, very nasty combos. And yeah, it is a competitive game, not cooperative, so there is that going for it. There's some days I generally as a concept, do enjoy to play co-op games over competitive games. Magic being the one outlier to that, obviously, because everything is always a duel. I have seen cooperative variants for Magic, granted, but the vast, vast majority of it is just duels, whether it's going to be a 1v1 or cutthroat or even teams. But yeah, lots of options there. Lots of fun to be had. I mean, it's built an entire industry out of itself. So I mean, even having seen how it's progressed over the past 20 plus years. I mean, I don't know remember how old it was. I was playing Magic when I was middle school. So I think it's probably closer on to 30 years in Magic. I'd have to look it up. I need some data required to figure out how old Magic actually is. All right. We're all good there. Now I've got all my markings done. I can proceed to put holes in the collar. Most of your TikTok for you is Magic. Yeah, once the algorithm knows you like that, there is an endless feed to be had of that. And that's okay too, for sure. I mean, there's definitely much worse things you could be doing with your time, for sure. And it does help you to think a little bit more analytically about situations and, you know, how to best respond to situations where, you know, this, then that, where, you know, if you do one thing over another, it could mean the difference between absolute success and crushing defeat. So, for sure. But I'm here for it. I am also focused in on playing. I'm trying to finish off on Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles right now. I have one of our housemates really wants to do a replay with us at some point, but then Kuro's also interested in getting me on Final Fantasy XIV, which I played when it was first released, and then they closed it off, redid a lot of stuff for it, and then they reopened it back up fixed. And I played the relaunch of it, and I thought that was really good. I was really impressed with how they had improved it over the initial release of 14. But then I just ran out of time. Pawstar stuff was keeping me very busy at that point, and that's when I made the decision to just back out of playing. I guess that was the last MMO that I really played, honestly. So hopping back into that world, although I've done it for a brief period, is interesting. All right. Holes installed in this one, so that's what it looks like with all of the embellishment. And I probably have time. I got around another 13 minutes. We can get through maybe one of these if I'm lucky. I just got a lot of holes to put in these. So yeah, I will continue to stream in this method for a little bit. I'm just trying to get a little better every time. So if I can, you know, either get a stream deck configured for this so I can change my camera angles, webcams. So I really want to show, for me, because I mean, I'm here, you see a lot of background. For me, I'm more happy to actually show more of the process, which is like part of the reason why I'm sitting in here, right? So that's why, particularly, aside from just being able to get on more channels, which I'm here for. Yeah, for weekend plans for us, I know that we'll be vending at the local bar on, what is it? Friday, tomorrow night, and then Saturday, Sunday I have taiko practice, and I got to keep up sharp with that because we're actually going to be at Anime Milwaukee doing our exhibition. We have a gig on for that day, so practice for this Foxy, and then aside from that, it's just going to be a lot of other Pawstar stuff, just getting more product ready, configuring the store. I'll probably be coming in here Saturday to reconfigure the Paw store, so if you come in here next week, you'll have a whole new layout to look at, so I'm fairly excited for that. Oh, yeah, Biscuit not liking the food. Yeah, sometimes what people will do, I mean, I don't know if it's like dietary restriction stuff, but I know with my doggo, if they had to have a special food, like one, I'd just be getting higher quality food in general. Couldn't really recommend any brands anymore, I think. But then aside from that, like if I needed him to eat something, I'd often make like some chicken trimmings, and like I'd like cook chicken, and so all of the side cuts and stuff, I would just bake that in the oven for a little bit, so it has some of the juice in there, and then put that in with the food. As just being whole ingredients, that's usually pretty benign for doggo tums, and for him, it was a good way for him to get to eat things if he wasn't really feeling the eating. So poor critter though, I know that sometimes, especially like if you got a finicky pup, that can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. So I wish you the best with that one, Ash. But Biscuit is a pretty cute old pup, I will say. All right, I got one more. So let's see, these have 4, 8, 10, 20, 24 holes per. So after I finish this, I'll have about 96 holes punched out. And I'll start to feel that in my hand, the hand meats. Eric's puppers allergic to chicken. Unfortunately, had to find doggo chow without chicken. Wow. Yeah, and that can be tricky too, especially when you deal with like pet allergies. And you have not maybe sussed out what the source of those are. Like that could be tricky to navigate as well. So, yeah, and other things like hamburger and rice, that's usually pretty fail-safe for most doggos. I mean, obviously, your doggo may vary, but as long as you're taking care of them to the best of your ability and trying to feed them well, make sure they get the attention and exercise that they need, and yeah, interact with them. You know, don't leave them. Don't take them for granted. They're not going to be there for anywhere near as long as you are, so definitely make sure you take care of your puppos and your kitty cats. They are fam. Fuzzy fam, as they are. All right. All done with that part. Now I can throw some screwbacks in these, and I think we'll see how far we can get in 8 minutes. She will not eat it all, so I'm gonna give her chicken. Vet doesn't want Biscuit to eat a lot of chicken. Ah, yeah. And like too much of it can be a little rich, and a little much for them. So really, and especially on a smaller doggo, you might have a little bit more of an issue because the amounts that they can eat is also. Aw, you kitty old man. Yeah, I like that. I had my old Minxie cat. She got to, I think, 23 or 24 years old. Very impressive. I always had like, a really good attitude about life. Always purring. Always like the biggest lap nester. Lovely cat. The first one to yowl to let you know that she never eaten a crumb in her life. Oh, poor starving away. Look at me, just but a thin black shadow skulking in the mist. Yeah, that was my Minxie. So yeah, definitely value your pets where you got them. I always like the way these look. I mean, granted, I feel like I feel like such a one-trick pony when it comes to stuff. I have so much more in the way of ambition of designs that I want to express and new techniques I want to try out, and just really having enough time to figure out. Wow, cat's older than you. That's amazing. Yeah, it won't always be the case, but definitely, that means you should respect your elders there, Ash. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. So I guess, speaking on the topic of being creative, what's a project that you'd like to see, that's something you'd like to make, or have done that you've not been able to yet? For me, I'd say I'd like to be able to finish off some armor designs, particularly pauldrons and other leather and fur gear for feral. So I guess my main one, if I had to narrow it down, would be a pauldron. You've been raised a cat, Oliver. There you go. That's a good way to make bond time with your kitty cat, for sure. So yeah, for me, pauldron, leather, fur things. I even had like a like an animal-esque looking pelt, but pelt made out of faux fur with a liner that I wanted to add pockets and such too. So there's some more options and things to figure out with that. I wonder how many of the screws and rivets I've installed in my career. It's been a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I've gotten to the million rivet mark, but it's been a lot. I bet I've said at least 100,000. Had to have. Yeah. No, and that's kind of what I wanted to make for. It's all feral designs, which I guess for me is a little bit of an outlier because it. Not only is it allow me to express things in a new way that we're not really used to doing with Pawstar, and it's going to open up some more creativity there, but then also there's these aspect of it that a lot of the background lore and characters and equipment and everything has a basis in the game that I had written, Alternia, when I was 15. And the game's never really seen the light of day much. Like I ran it at Gen Con for a couple of years. Oh no. And Pointy Beat stopped snapping and he keeps snapping on a big cuff. That would be really frustrating, I'd imagine too, especially if you have things in a specific order and then you have one that's like in the middle of the chain just like breaks and then you got to undo a whole bunch of work just to get work forward. I feel that. Like that's been a lot of my lived experience is like 2 steps forward and a step back on things, so I get it. Gonna make a bag out of the fabric you have. The bag you can close and open. There you go. What kind of closure were you looking to do on your bag, Ash? Did you want to do a zipper? Did you want to do buttons? Did you want to do a magnetic clasp? There's a lot of options. Ties. A lot of different ways you could do that. Of course, having to do things like learning how to install zippers, like that's challenging. I've only ever, to be honest, installed like maybe 2 or 3 zippers in my entire career. This is not something I do. Generally, I work with like leather and hardware. I guess it's not totally true. I guess I have done more zipper work, but most of that zipper work has been like in the pursuit of like drum bags or zippers that aren't actually functional. They just look cool. So as far as zippers that get used, yeah, maybe less than half a dozen that I've ever installed. How about you? I got 3 minutes left. Tell me your projects. What would you want to accomplish for this year if you could? Granted, you had the time and materials to do so. You already have buttons. We're gonna do buttons and zippers. Yeah, look like the machine that you have has a buttonhole setting, so you could use that at least on the other side. You know, the one side is obviously sewing the button. There's ways, there's like gimmicky ways of things that like sew buttons well enough. I've always been, when I sew buttons, just sew them by hand. But then again, I don't have a ton of them to make. But I know there's ways you can also do it in a little bit more of an automated fashion, so. Yeah, plenty to be had, plenty of skills to develop. And just remember that even if some of the projects you do don't turn out the way that you intend, just keep at it. Persistence is key, and you often learn just as much or more by failing as you do by success. So don't let failure dissuade you from continuing forward. Like, you can do this. Just learning a little bit. And even if it feels like you're stagnating, just try something else. Or try maybe walk away from it for a little bit and then come back to it. But please do come back to it at some point. All right, we're 1 minute to 7. I'm going to call it here. So Appreciate y'all giving me your support today and watching me on the new Pawstar TV. And please remember to like, subscribe, share with everybody else, whether you're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever we're at. So appreciate you. Hope you all have a good one, and see y'all really soon. Good night, everybody.